Hello again. I basically thought instead of doing like massive videos that are basically like half an hour, 40 minutes long, yeah, to kind of break them down into different separate videos because let's be honest, no one is gonna really want to sit there for 40 minutes listening to just one like long video. So I thought it'd be nicer for everyone basically if I just did it in parts. So going back to obviously the last thing I spoke about in that video, which was obviously in some aspects sometimes mothers or fathers, depending on who has the children in their full-time care, have to put their foot down pretty much, and you have to say to them, if you don't change and things don't start changing, or you don't start following through with the things that you're actually promising, you don't deserve to see your children and things like that. Obviously it's not nice for anyone to not be able to see their kids, but there are some people out there that generally bring that upon themselves, and unfortunately, for a lot of the time as well, there are a lot of parents out there as well that don't actually even seem to care. And that sometimes really baffles me because I don't understand how you can remotely know that you have a child out there that's relying on you and is yours, but want nothing to do with it. Well, not it, but to do with them. But no, going back to the boundaries, it's also important that you're so specific with what your boundaries are, so that if they then do start disrespecting your boundaries, that it's a case of that they're doing it because they don't care, not because they've misunderstood something. So let's say in for instance, you've got into a new relationship, and obviously because of the stuff that you've been through because of your previous relationship, in an argument, sometimes triggers and things like that, you have to put your triggers out there. You need to let them know what's gonna set you off and what isn't. So I don't know, let's say you're having an argument, you need to make it clear to them that if they that you're not gonna stand for them yelling at you, you're not gonna stand for them talking down to you. If you're gonna have a disagreement or an argument, whatever, because it's inevitable, it's going to happen, it happens in relationships, you need to be able to sit down with them and actually speak to them and know that you're doing it in a healthy way. At the end of the day, your boundaries are yours, and what you feel is a boundary for yourself in order to heal from your past experiences and in order to heal as a person, you have every right to set them and be firm about them. No one can sit there and say to you that you shouldn't have boundaries, that you shouldn't have this, you shouldn't have that, because at the end of the day, this is about you, and it's about you, how you're recovering from your past events. Another stage basically to heal from narcissistic abuse is seek help from professionals. So, I'm not saying that this is going to work for everyone. Getting help from professional people isn't always the way that people go forward, recover and heal. So this could be going to therapy when you've left the relationship, which is something that, I tried for a very long time. I gave it a go at the end of the day, and I think that's important. You can't sit there and say that something is not going to be good for you or something you're not going to benefit from it unless you try. And, I tried it. I didn't feel it was for me. But I'm now actually going into something called CBT, which is cognitive behavioural therapy, which is quite significant when basically you're coming out of a narcissistic abusive relationship. Yes, mine has been 6 years. So I'm not out of the fresh stage of, but I still have trauma that is stuck with me from that relationship, and I still have a lot of things that I haven't quite learned to accept and deal with. So yeah, for me, I'm starting something called CBT. You basically get a referral, you get in touch with them, you can email them, you can phone them. So for me, I live in Guildford, and there is a CBT centre in Guildford town, and that's basically where I've referred myself to now. Whether or not it's going to benefit for me, I don't know, but I won't know unless I try it. So I just have to wait for them to get back to me, and then sort of basically just see what it is and what their providing. Sorry, that's my phone. Let's get that a minute. Yeah, so seeking help from professionals is important, because a lot of the time, a lot of people do actually benefit from it, and it is a way for you to just basically let out like how you're feeling and like what you've been through. And sometimes it's so important to just have a listening ear and someone that you can just sort of like rant it out to, that one, understands, and two, is having your best interests at heart. So, you know, like a therapist, for instance, their main aim is to help you recover from what you've been through. You know, that is their job. They're there to listen to you. They're there to help you and give you the best advice and tips and everything like that possible to move forward. I feel like another thing with healing is you need to practice self-compassion. So I feel like that is very important when it comes to like healing from narcissistic abuse. And basically what that means is because obviously when you first come out of the relationship, your first instinct will probably be to blame yourself for what you went through. So what I said in the beginning, the self-blame, that anger that you have towards yourself. And basically you need to take time in yourself to sit back and understand that you are not to blame. Like I said in the beginning of the first video, you know, what you went through is not a reflection of you, it is a reflection of who they are. And just like reward yourself. When you start to, you know, notice that, you know, you're not sitting back in that mindset anymore, go out for the day, even if it's just going by yourself. Like, learn to love your own company. Learn to love being in your own company. Like, for instance, this could literally be, I don't know, like a self-pamper day or something. Like, just something that you know is going to be a good distraction and like a good reward, you know, of rewarding yourself, of being like, yes, I went through this. Yes, it's damaged me, but no, I'm not letting it damage me any further, and no, I'm not letting myself go back into that headspace again. So yeah, you could go like on a pamper day, meet up with some friends and go out somewhere for the day. You know, just do so many things that you feel that you couldn't do when you were with him or her. And just like reward yourself for sticking to like what you know is the right thing for yourself. And just be proud of yourself. Like, be honestly so proud of yourself for how far you've come, because I'm not being funny, but going through things like that is not an easy thing at all, and it really takes so much strength to pull yourself out of a relationship like that. So, you know, when you have done that and you are taking those steps to heal yourself from the situation, just be proud of yourself. I know at times it's so hard to feel that way, because there is that whole self-blame, there's that whole self-anger. You know, you just want to throw everything and anything at everyone, because you just don't want to accept the situation for what it is in the start. But you should generally just be so proud of yourself, because not only have you taken the courage to get out of a situation like that, but you know that you are taking the steps that you need for yourself to heal. And these are all stages that are going to help you heal. You know, the self-compassion for yourself, the being proud in yourself, the rewards of yourself when you do things that help the situation, like help you. Being patient is another thing when it comes to healing from a narcissist, because, you know, as time goes on, you'll find that you can start to let go of that toxic relationship, move forward eventually, but you just have to be patient in it. You have to accept that it is not a smooth sailing journey. You know, it's not just going to be a case of that one day you're going to wake up and, oh, everything's fine. Like, I feel fine. There's steps you have to take. There's feelings that you have to go through and you have to just run with. You can't block or distract yourself from anything that comes with when you've left someone like that. You have to sit and feel everything that you feel, and just honestly, my best advice is to just accept any help that is given to you when you leave someone like that, because you're gonna need people more than ever when you've left someone like that, because not only have you lost your a big piece of yourself when you come away from them, because one, they are all you've ever known, but you've also lost your identity when by the time you've left them, because they've stripped that away from you. You're gonna need everyone and anyone as a support network around you as much as possible. So honestly, the best advice I can give with that, as well as obviously of course being patient and accepting that these things do take time, you're gonna have to just accept any sort of help that you feel you can in that moment, because it is again another step to helping you heal from what you've been through. Exercising self-care, I feel, is very beneficial in many ways when it comes to healing from a narcissist. And being kind to yourself is very essential. So self-care could be stuff that helps you meet your own physical and emotional needs. Our mind and body are connected, so working on both areas of your life can help you feel stronger. It can help you feel braver, it can help you feel healthier, and basically just more ready to take on the day. In the beginning, when you first obviously leave people like that, you sort of wake up sometimes. Well, for me personally, I woke up thinking, this is another day of just, what the hell am I doing? And it's important that you learn to get to a point where you don't feel like that anymore. So exercising self-care could be making sure that you get your hours of sleep that you need, eating healthy, doing the things that you love, connecting or reconnecting with people in your life that are positive. So for me, what I did is I reached out when obviously I broke up with the person that I was in an abusive relationship with, and I reached out to everybody that I pushed away when I actually broke up with them for good, and I apologized to every single one of them for how the situation turned out between me and that person. And that's when I then admitted and spoke up about the abuse, was when I knew that I was away from him for good, and there was all the police investigations going on. That's when I basically then started really coming forward. And you know what, I feel like another thing that really helped me was actually getting it out there, using my voice, and actually obviously when I first started hearing it all coming out my mouth, the more I started talking about obviously everything he put me through, the more my brain was sort of thinking on it all and thinking wow, the more I'm talking about it out loud, the more messed up I'm starting to realize how much it actually was. But it really helped me just sort of, I don't know what the word is, I feel emotionally it really helped me to just hear myself actually being able to open up about it now. And just to have people obviously be there to support me. So something that I did was, I just reached out to anyone that I possibly could have in that moment in time, to make it clear to them that, obviously I accept it. It's not going to just be an instant, we're back to how it used to be sort of thing. It's going to take time. I get you're going to have to learn to trust me because of how things ended, but it really helps, really helped me to just reconnect with everyone, because then I got to a point where I kind of felt like they never left my life. And obviously when you have people there to support and have people there to lean on, it can really help you. Something else that I really got into was gymming. So I started the gym because I feel like the gym is such a positive impact both on your mind and your body. Because, you know, when you go into the gym, you're going into the gym with all these feelings. You know, you could be going on there because you're angry, you want to get things out, you want like a release. You want to release all of that. You come out of the gym feeling you come out the gym with such a clear head. Well, for me, I do anyway. And a lot of people I know have always said the same thing as well. You leave the gym with such a clear head, and not only are you then helping your mind and like helping obviously your brain, but you're also creating a positive, more healthier look on your body too. So it's basically like a two birds with one stone sort of thing. Like, you're not only helping your brain, but you're helping your body. So, and when you look good, you feel good. And, you know, when you feel good, well, then you just feel like you can do anything, really. You become so much more confident in yourself. And that's something I noticed about myself. Obviously, I completely lost all my confidence dating him. Like, I never really had much confidence anyway. But, like, that little amount of confidence that I did have in myself was stripped away when I got with him. And it's still taken me a very long time to get that back. But when I then obviously started noticing changes in my body, like positive changes, and, you know, my head was so much clearer, I was actually able to sit and think about things. I knew that I would release all of that anger that I felt walking into the gym. It really benefited me. Really, really benefited me. So yeah, doing things like that is like a massive, I'd say, key thing to help you heal and things like that. And another thing is lean on support from your loved ones. So, you know, when obviously they then know that you've been through this and you've got to a point where you can actually open up and be honest about what you've been through, let them support you in the way that they want to. Because, like I said just now, you are never going to need support like you will when you leave somebody like that, because you're going to feel so alone in the starting of the breakup, because they're all you've ever known. And obviously where you pushed everybody away, you don't have really anyone in your life at that point. So when obviously you do have like people reaching out, like they probably were when you were with this person, let them. Please do let them. I can't stress that enough, how much you just need to let them. Like, let them give you the compassion you've been lacking. Let them distract you from what's going on up in your head. And when obviously you learn to support, like learn to lean on the support from people that want to help you and care about you, it keeps you busy, especially on difficult days. So for me, when I was having like a really bad down day, and I was like having all of the stuff like coming back to me and like all of the stuff, like flashbacks of everything, I then would phone a friend and be like, can we do something today? And it would just help my mind like come away from that dark place, because I was having fun. I was doing things that I couldn't do when I was with him. So it definitely helped. That definitely helps me. And obviously at the end of the day, the people that love you and want to support you, they are there and they're going to validate like what you're going through. No one that cares about you is going to sit there and judge you for how you're feeling. So it's a safe space for you to be able to open up and vent about how you're feeling, and they are safe people to go to talk about how, like, the situation when you need to. You know, anyone that remotely does truly genuinely care will never care how much you go to somebody about the same situation, because they understand that it's something that you haven't healed from. It's something that, you know, you need to talk about to make yourself feel better. Some people even reach out to support groups, like domestic abuse support groups. And sometimes, like, for them, they feel like it really helped them because, you know, they're in a room full of people that have been through the same thing as you. And you know that when you're speaking up and you're speaking out about what you've been through, that you're not the only one in that room that understands or has experienced that. You're all going through the same thing, so you all sort of basically help each other in a way. And then you can sort of help each other, because, you know, there might be some like tips or advice that you have that someone else didn't know about, and then when you speak up on that and speak out about it, they're like, oh wow, like I didn't think about that, I can try that. And then it just makes you feel better in yourself, that one, you've helped yourself by attending the group, you know, you feel better, and two, you've helped somebody else that's been through the same thing. So yeah, I just feel like a lot of like to do with healing, it is all about it is definitely all about patience, you know, it's not smooth sailing, and it's just about learning to love yourself again, really, and learning to understand that none of what you went through was your fault, and you couldn't stop the situation from happening, because at the end of the day, a narcissist will always stay being a narcissist, and they'll never change neither. They will never change at all. And that's not a